Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful day with us on Live with Lloyd. I am your host, astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn. Already into the ninth day of September, would you believe? Okay. As you see in a few moments, I have a very extraordinary, very beautiful guest, Allana Taylor. She is the wife of Eric Taylor, the famous astrologer that I had on weeks ago. But she brings to the table her own qualities, which you will see. And what I want to do is, before I do that, I want to let you know that the shows are being brought to you by Intellectual Powers .net with Visit Islam. These are his products that he has that is very, very good. Nicholas Brooklyn out at 1396 Fulton Street in Brooklyn, New York City. Please stop in and say hi to Monique and also to Kafunya. You'll see them. Also, Manifest on Purpose with Miss Kimberly, who is sponsoring the show. Also, King Simon, that has a 2-day weekend special on October the 12th and the 13th. And I see the tribute is going to be done exactly on Baba Dick Gregory's birthday, which is the 12th of October. This is the code. So if you can scan the code, now I'll say it again. You can scan the code, and then this way you can get an idea of what's going on and more specifics. Anyway, today is Monday, the 9th of September. In fact, believe it or not, this is the most common day to be born on. The rarest day to be born on is December the 24th, followed by December the 25th. But the most common day to be born on is this day. So for those of you born on this birthday, you got a lot in common, pardon the pun. The sun is in Virgo. The moon is in Sagittarius. It's an 8 universal month, 1 universal week, an 8 universal day. So those under the signs of Capricorn, Aquarius, and Libra, or if you're born on the 8th or the 17th or the 26th, like my guest, she is a number 8, then this is good. So before I do bring her on, I do want to thank everybody very much. I mean, you're in for a wonderful treat. This woman is like, well, you'll see. I words can't do it. I'm going to tell you. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on Alana Taylor. Alana, how you doing, lady?
I am wonderful. Thank you so much. That was such a nice introduction. I so appreciate it. You know what I forgot to tell you?
What's that?
My eldest son was born today. He was born 9/9/1999 at
Whoa.
12:32 a.m. in Berkeley, California.
9/9/1999.
Yes,
You
sir.
got all
And I don't
those.
know how I forgot. You're the numbers, man. How could I forget to tell you those numbers?
Well, it just triggered a memory. So I know you told
Mhm.
your son happy birthday today,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely, absolutely. He might be watching, I hope, but he lives down in Texas now, so he could be working. Well, I don't know.
Okay. Now, because of all those nines tend to be assertive, very
Mm-hmm.
straightforward, very proactive,
Mm-hmm.
normally have a very good opinion of themselves. Okay. They just can't help it. They tend to be
Mm-hmm.
more accident and injury prone than sickness prone because 9 governs fire. So if he's 9/9/1999, every single number from the 9 month to 9 day to 1990, every single one of them are fire numbers. So I would ask a question before we get into you and what you do. Does your son
Mm-hmm.
ever get sick per se?
You know, he has in his life had two, and both times, once when he was a baby, it was more an accident than a sickness, but it ended him up in the hospital for over a week in ICU. And then again, a little bit older, he ended up in the hospital. So when he does it big time.
Yes, but that's what I was saying because 9 is an accident number. He's got
Mm-hmm.
9. So out of 2, 4, 6, out of 6 numbers going across his birthday, 4 of them are nines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 4 of them are nines. So it's just a research question. It's none of my business really, but thank you
That's
for
okay.
filling in that. Alana, what do you do other than just make some of the most gorgeous products we want to talk about?
I do everything. No, but so besides being a mother to four children and wife and all that, I have created what I consider to be the most amazing body care line out there, Sabali Pure, and I am so super proud of it. I have really intentionally chosen every single ingredient for their health properties. And I do this as a labor of love. And because I think that we need to begin to really think about what we're putting on our bodies. Our very first product, which was a deodorant, I actually made, well, this one is the men's version. However, women love it. It's just a scent. But I made these with my mother-in-law in mind, who I took care of for 14 years. She had breast cancer that metastasized, traveled to the brain. And at that time, we were learning how aluminum was connected to breast cancer. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I said, well, what could I make that maybe would have been better for her and possibly helped her to avoid getting cancer and all of this? Because obviously the cancer then metastasized to the brain, which is very, very common. And it really changed her life. So I created this deodorant. One, it works, which is amazing.
And
But
it's
it
all
actually,
organic too.
it's over 95% organic content, and it actually helps to detoxify the body, because I put things in it to help pull not only toxins but heavy metals out of your body, because we encounter them all the time, and especially now with all the spraying that they do in the air, we are constantly being bombarded by heavy metals. I use essential oils, not fragrance oils, and these have their own healing properties, which also help to balance your endocrine system over time. I use things to help heal your skin. I use the ingredients that I use help to stimulate your lymphatic system, because that is the system that keeps our whole body flowing and helping us to flush those toxins and keep things moving. So I really wanted to create something that we use every day that was going to impact our health positively. So
Let me ask you this. You said something interesting that I didn't really pay attention to. You said
mhm,
essential oils versus fragrance oils. What's the
mhm.
difference?
Oh, huge. Well, first and foremost, essential oils are live and living. They're from plants. And they are, I mean, what you go through to get those essential oils is huge. So, like, for 1 ounce of rose oil, there's over 84,000 petals that are used to make that.
Hold it. Are
That's,
you serious?
hmm and I use real rose oil in my sandalwood rose deodorant,
Hold
real
on.
sandalwood oil, real rose oil. And yeah, so over 84,000 petals are used to make 1 ounce of essential oil. And I use essential oils because the essential oils introduce health benefits into our body. Fragrance oils, even if they are quote unquote natural fragrances, they are made in a laboratory. And what they have actually found is that sometimes the natural fragrances or natural flavors, because fragrances and flavors are very similar in what they do and how
Interchangeable.
they're made.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the quote unquote natural are actually more toxic for you than the artificial fragrance oil or flavoring, because
Mm-hmm.
what they've done is I want to use the word bastardized, but I hope that's okay to use.
It's
They've
fine.
taken the natural ingredient and they've done so much changing to it that they have made it unnatural, if that makes sense. So it's really a deceptive um, it's a very deceptive industry, and it's why I got into formulating in the first place. What I found when I started my brand, because my idea was to start a brand, have somebody else make the ingredients and just put it in my packaging. But I found that I could not find anything that I felt was at the standards that I wanted to put out into the world. So I had to teach myself how to formulate.
I think that's interesting because really, when you look at it, they have a lot of things on the market now that says natural and whatever, what it's really not. It's almost as if to entice you into getting it, not understanding it. How did you come up with the name Sabali?
So Okay. The name first came to me years ago. There was a song by Nas and Damian Marley called Sabali, and it means patience. And my husband and I found the song. We actually liked it. But years later, when I decided to create this line, I started thinking about what I felt the world really needed. And I think the world really needs some patience, both for ourselves, for our interpersonal relationships. But then as I thought about what's going on in the body care industry, in the cosmetic industry, is that we use chemicals so often because we want that quick, fast, whatever it is. And nature takes a little bit longer, but the reality is it does what it does in a more natural way, but in a more complete way that will last. Whereas the toxins and the chemicals that we're using, we're finding create so much illness. So I wanted to tell people that you need to be patient for this item to work, but when it does, you're going to far exceed anything you're going to pick up at the drugstore or any.
That makes so much sense. So instead of, because we always used to instant gratification, instant relief,
Mhm.
headaches, instant relief of this, that, and the other, not understanding that most things in nature takes a minute to get in to kick in, but when it kicks in, it's good.
Yes, and so what happens, like, for anybody who is going to make a transition to natural deodorant, a lot of times what you hear is that they say, "Oh, well, I smell." Well, here's what's happening. If you have been using a aluminum based deodorant, and let me tell you something, those crystals that people are using that they think don't have aluminum, they absolutely do have aluminum. They're just a different type, and they're actually a stronger aluminum than what's in the stuff you're going to pick up at the grocery store. But on back to what I was saying, when you stop using aluminum, your body will sweat for the first time, and you're beginning to pass toxins, which is what your body was designed to do from the get-go. And so you will smell it first, and depending on how you eat, depending on how your body has stored these things, all of that will affect how long you might experience odor. So whenever I talk to people about making the transition, which I think, as I said, I took care of my mother-in-law who had breast cancer, and anybody who knows somebody making this switch is worth it. But I talk to people about carry your deodorant with you, be prepared to reapply throughout the day as needed until you get past that detox period. Once you do, you've got smooth sailing. But
And
it's
then, in other words, then it's not as pronounced often because you've gotten rid of the toxicity in the body, and now you're going on the natural plane.
Exactly, exactly.
And
And so after that, it's just regular standard maintenance. And what I find is I can go days. What I do notice is that, I will admit you have to do a little bit more laundry because now all of a sudden there might be sweat on your clothes, which you had never experienced. But what I also notice is when you combine natural products with eating natural, your body just completely experiences a change.
interestingly enough, this is the definition of it, spoken in Mali.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's so funny. I've met some people who are from Mali and they get really excited when they see my line, but I just think it's such a beautiful thing. What's really amazing is that um one of the ingredients that I use is a lippe butter. And it is a tree that grows these pods. And from Indonesia. They grow them in Africa as well. But in Indonesia is where they have a lot of lippe plants. And you have to wait 3 to 5 years for a pod to mature,
Really?
and yes, so it has to mature, it has to naturally drop to the ground, and then the people can go in and collect it, and it's a family affair for them. It's the whole family is out picking up these pods, and then they hand make it into the butter. And so when I found out about this butter and found out that it was a natural alternative to palm oil, because palm oil is also grown in that industry, I mean in that area of the world, and it is a horrible, like, it's so bad for the environment. It has ruined ecosystems. It has put out tremendous carbon waste. And in terms of human I want to say not human trafficking, but the way that they treat the workers have been linked to so many atrocities that I said to myself, one, I will never use palm oil because I just cannot put that type of energy into my product. But when I found out that this tree was growing in that place and allowing the indigenous people to make a living and to use a natural product, I said, I have to support that. So I started using a lippe butter, which is amazing. But, anyways, it takes 3 to 5 years for those pods to grow and drop to the ground. If you go and you pick it ahead of time, the pod will not be mature enough and they won't be able to use it. So once again, you have to
Interesting.
have
Interesting.
patience.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sabali.
patience with nature for it to do what it needs to do, and then you can use it, and I think that's the way we need to work with nature.
Well, actually, the way our elders used to do it, they had no choice but to work in accord with nature. But now everything is fast, overnight, uh, especially food products like chicken and beef, where they would grow naturally, is now fattened with chemicals or additives they put to it. And then
Yeah.
when we eat it, it goes into our system too. So I don't think we realize the consequences about the so-called making a profit over the expense of bad health. And they found out now that the younger generation have more problems with health diseases, such as all kinds of cancers that were never described for people in the young 20s and 30s bracket.
Well, what's really amazing is the last time I took my boys for their physical, which was just a couple weeks ago, they wanted to do lipid testing on my 11-year-old sons. And I was like, wow, I've never been asked for my kids to take a lipid test. But the doctor said because the diabetes rate is gotten so high amongst youth that they are recommending lipid tests to check it because they found that waiting till sometime after 18 was not allowing them to catch that diabetic path early enough, which I just think is heartbreaking, you know.
Yeah, because they call it juvenile diabetes, which when I was growing up, you wasn't until you were in the elderly stages before you start talking about diabetes, a possible loss of
Mhm.
limb, and all that stuff. So it's
Exactly. I mean, I talk to my children all the time about the fact that even so many things like ADHD and autism and whatnot, that was very uncommon. I was born in 1973, and you really did not have that in the schools. And now it is an issue, and it is in every single school, in every single classroom. You've got children who have these issues, and it is not natural human evolution. It is because of chemicals and toxins. And it was all these things that I was learning about and taking care of my mother and my mother-in-law, I should say, that made me say, wait a minute, we have got to do something different. And I began researching and making products first for myself. And then, I got together with a girlfriend and we started our first business making these products to help people.
and you know what's interesting? They found in the Amish communities, the youngsters don't have none of those problems, ADHD or anything of that nature. So
They
you
probably
think there's
don't.
something you need to look at in that direction to see what
Mm.
the Amish are doing versus
And quite honestly, what they're doing is they're cooking their own food. They're not doing microwaves. They're not doing all it's the processed food. So even when we go into the grocery stores, they say shop the perimeter of the grocery store, not the interior, because all of that processed stuff, as easy as it is genuinely killing us. We are one of these, I want to say one, but we could be one of the sickest country in the world in terms of cancer, in terms of the amount of prescription drugs that we take and things like that. And it is because we are consuming toxins on a regular basis. And there's so many reasons for it. Food deserts. I mean, I used to live in New York City, so I'm totally aware of
yeah.
that. You know, we need to demand a change, and part of demanding a change is creating the stuff that we want to see.
This is your love bundle package. Can you explain it?
Yes. So this is just a way that I create. This is something that I created to help people experience a complete transition. I focus on the daily essential products. So your deodorants, your tooth powder, your lip balms, your dental care. I also have a body oil that if they want to add it on to this bundle, they can get. But these are things that we use every day, and that if we switch them up, we can remove chemicals. There's a study that said that the average woman puts on over 200, I think it's 238 chemicals every morning
Hold,
because of the
hold,
things.
hold, hold. Excuse me. Repeat that one more time, please.
The average American woman puts 238 chemicals onto her body every morning as part of her daily routine. So that Love is Sabali package, that was created to give everyone an alternative. I mean, you would be shocked. Toothpaste, normal toothpaste has um, the same chemical that is used in dish soap is used in toothpaste. Sodium lauryl sulfite is one of them. There's so many different things. They use artificial flavors. They use things that actually strip the lining of your mouth, which is why sometimes we see a lot of people with canker sores and these different things. We are putting things on our body that were not designed to be there. So, like for instance, my tooth powder, which it's open here, but I use 100% organic content in here. I use organic neem, which is designed to detoxify your mouth. I use peppermint oil, which is a detoxifier, but it's also amazing for your gums. Turmeric, which is an anti-inflammatory for your gums and actually a natural whitener, which a lot of people don't know. I use essential oils that are also designed to help your mouth. And the whole premise is to detoxify your mouth. This is a gateway into the rest of our body. Our skin is our largest organ. Obviously, that is a huge gateway for picking up toxins, but our mouth is the second gateway. Our nose is also another one. And so we need to think about the things that we're doing, but also detoxifying our body needs to be something that we do. I talk a lot about anti-toxification. That is an Ayurvedic practice, but it is about being in constant detox so that it's not a one-time event where we do it after a weekend or for a particular thing, but something where we're constantly trying to get our
On a
body
regular
in a place
basis. Yeah.
of
Yeah.
natural
Yeah.
flow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me ask you this. The product that's on the far left, the tallest one, what
Yes.
product is that?
That is my Earth Trace Mineral Deodorant. So that was the first product that I made for my mother-in-law.
Hmm.
And what I love about that product is that, you know, I use trace minerals. So I use the diatomaceous earth, which is a heavy metal puller. I use, oh my goodness, I just forgot what I was about to say, but I use zinc. In it as well. So it's actually what it does is at first it pulls the toxins out of your body. It uses the essential oils to go after and neutralize those toxins. Then what that doesn't eliminate, the zinc actually encapsulates and pulls the odor away to keep you fresher longer. I use vitamin E, and I use a natural vitamin E that is not in acetate. Like the vitamin E that you'll get at Dwayne Reed and stuff is packed in a chemical and is only about
Interesting.
28%
Interesting.
vitamin E. What I put in my products is 72% vitamin E. All vitamin E is going to be in the carrier of some sort, but you want your carrier to be a natural carrier. So my carrier is a natural plant-based oil, whereas theirs is acetate, which is a petroleum-based um, greasy material.
Now, the product in the center, the middle,
Mm-hmm.
that's the toothpaste, is it?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay. Now, that's it's actually a powder. From reading the instructions,
Mm-hmm.
you uh, kind of sprinkle about 2 shakes
Yeah.
of powder in your hand, and then you use a damp. I got to do up this close and personal. Hold up.
Okay. So what you will do is you take the tooth powder, you put it into your hand, and then you take your toothbrush. Now, obviously, my toothbrush is not wet at the moment, but
Yeah.
you take your toothbrush and you gather it up. And then what you want to do is just go directly into your mouth. Now, the one thing you have to be careful about, and I warn everybody on this, is it's powder. So you don't want to take your toothbrush and go and breathe
And,
in. You want to take
yeah.
it, put it to your
And
teeth
rub it
and
in.
dampen it. And
Mhm.
then once it's damp, you'll be fine. But you want to take it now and brush it. It's the most amazing thing. It features organic xylitol, and xylitol is nature's fluoride. So what it does is it helps to strengthen your enamel. It creates a biofilm that makes it hard for plaque to readhere. And it's why that's why dentists actually recommend xylitol based gum, because it builds you up. So what I've done is I've made xylitol the first ingredient in this, so that it helps to strengthen your mouth. Then I put calcium carbonate, and again that diatomaceous. These are three different types of remineralizers that remineralize and strengthen your enamel three ways.
This is amazing. And the one on the
Mm-hmm.
tail end, what's that one?
That's our lip balm. So I all of the lip balms, I started thinking about, did you know that we eat about 4 lip balms a year, based on just putting, if you use lip balms or lipsticks or anything, you eat about 4 of them a year. And so I started thinking, well, if I'm eating organic food, maybe I should use organic flavors. So I have only organic flavors in here, and I put organic essential oils along with those flavors to boost whatever flavor it is that my lip balms are. And
And that,
I use, I'm sorry,
right. And
I
you
use the
use what?
most,
I'm sorry.
oh yeah, no. I use the most amazing ingredients. So I use castor oil, I use metaphone seed oil, I use evening primrose, chia seed. These are unheard of oils in your lip balms, and I will tell you, they work amazingly. They sink into your lips. They are lovely. They actually help to heal your lips. I've had people come back after consistent use, and the wrinkles that are around their lips will go away, especially like if you're somebody who smoked for years, you'll get these different wrinkles here. It's not going to happen overnight, but it will soften those because you're actually getting that real hydration into your lips.
And what is that? The curve thing, that's a tongue scraper.
Ah, yes. So the tongue scraper, yes, that is a stainless steel tongue scraper. So stainless steel really does help to, it has antibacterial properties. But every morning and every night, I scrape my tongue. So I get the bacteria off of my tongue. That is going to really boost your oral health. It will take away bad breath, or at least help to really combat it. And what's really amazing too is our tongue, like our feet, actually have pressure points that correlate to every organ in our body. So you wake up in the morning, you do your tongue scraper, you're actually waking up your organs. And then what I personally like to do is start, this is not related to my products, but I
Do
start
you
every
have a
morning.
tongue? You have one of your tongue scrapers you can show us?
I do. Let me grab it real quick for you.
Okay,
Here we go. Sorry. You
that's all
know,
right. That's all right. So people can see
and
it.
so, yeah. And so you just take and you scrape your tongue, and you'll do that, however many times you want. And you would be amazed at what you take off. Like I do this at night and I do it again in the morning, and there's always stuff on my tongue, but it really helps. And you got to think, if you don't scrape this off of your tongue, when you take your first drink of water or do whatever, you're actually ingesting that bacteria. Your body throughout the night is pushing out the toxins that it doesn't want. And so if you don't scrape it off, you're actually swallowing it back into your body.
Thank you for lesson 101. That's good.
I
Yeah, a
know.
lot of people take that for granted. And
I know.
finally, the
Dental
what
floss?
the dental floss.
Yeah. So what I love about the dental floss is, so first off, I have it coated in coconut oil, and coconut oil is antibacterial. So it's putting that antibacterial ingredient between your teeth and around your teeth and so forth. But each of the dental flosses that I have are a little bit different. So we have the
Oh, in
gray
fact,
one.
I'm going to show that. I'm going to show that now because it's called the VIP lineup. There you go.
Yeah, so the dental flosses, we have the gray one, and that one is the charcoal, and charcoal is actually antibacterial and whitening, and will
Hold
help
on.
with
This
breath
is
and your
back
gums.
to the.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And then the coffee over here, it doesn't taste like coffee. Both of these taste like mint. They have mint essential oil on them. But the coffee one, what's really cool about that is it's actually made from coffee grounds. So these are biodegradable floss and so forth. But anyways, what coffee does is it emits a negative ion or positive ion that attracts the negative ions of the plaque that's in your mouth. So when you're using it, it actually is helping to pull that plaque even more so. So I tell people if they use both of them, you're going to get your whitening and your freshening and bacterial, antibacterial here, and you're going to get your plaque removal here. So if you switch on and off, it kind of is the best of both worlds. However, both of them are really amazing, um, really amazing dental flosses. I'm sorry, I'm looking at it.
No, no, no. Let me show you the. This is the lip balm you use. Now tell us
Mm-hmm.
about the lip balms.
So yeah, no, the lip balms, they, as I said, they are made with the organic ingredients. The organic, actually, this one is almost entirely organic ingredients, and then it has metafoam, which is plumping and just really healing to the skin. I use a lot of antioxidants in all of my ingredients because what antioxidants do is they help heal and renew your cells, and they help slough off the dead cells and create turnover, which helps your body to renew itself. And then the organic flavors and the organic essential oils are also absorbed into your mouth, into your lips, and so forth. With the pomegranate mint, for example, tell my clients, listen, during the winter, I love using it because if you actually scrape some of it, you can put it on your nose, and it's going to help when you're blowing your nose and so forth. Hey, Michael, nice to see you. Thank you. And you can put it on and actually help to heal a raw nose that you've been blowing and so forth because of that peppermint oil. So all these products, because they're made of things that are, most of my ingredients are food grade. So you could literally eat this stuff. And that's what you want out of your products, you know.
I think that's amazing. And Evelyn Torres says she loves the lip balms.
Thank you, Evelyn. I love Evelyn. She's the best. She is a crystal guru. She's the best. She has
Good.
a.
Well, maybe one day we'll have her on to talk about it. But here's what I like, because hold on, I got my package just today in the mail.
Mm,
This is what it looks like. Okay. And so, but when you do it, what's happening, it represents, hold on, right there, the four seasons of spring,
mm-hmm.
summer, autumn, and fall, a winter rather.
Yeah, no, I base the lip balms on the seasons, and then the deodorants I based on the circadian rhythm. It was so much fun because I went to art school years ago, and so I was really able
Oh
to
yeah, I
bring.
want to show that. Yeah, because you were talking about that. Let me take this off a second. Um, how you put your art to work. Go ahead.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I was able to bring my artistic self in. So, like with my lip balms, all my packaging, I designed it to be beautiful because I feel like I envision this stuff sitting on the best spas in the world. I actually have my line featured at Marival, which is an amazing spa. It's about 12 to $1,500 a night to stay. You can't just walk in there. It's gated. You have to have an appointment just to walk in the doors. It's about $300 just to be there. And so they actually loved my line and have it on their shelves, which is such an honor. But I wanted to create something beautiful, but I wanted to create something that was also good for the environment. But like, yeah, look, check this out. I mean, like my lip balms,
That's
if you
like the
stack
chakra centers, the colors of the chakra centers, right?
exactly, exactly. So, just so much fun to be able to design something beautiful and know that on top of it being beautiful, all of these tubes are FSC certified and compostable. Um, and my glassware, which my body oils come in, I actually don't use labels. I print them because when you put the labels on the glass, it makes it very difficult, if not impossible, to recycle. And so by doing this, they become easily recyclable, which I thought was important. My goal is to really try and live in harmony.
Here we
Yeah.
go.
And
That's
so, like that sandalwood rose has real sandalwood and real rose oil in it. All of my items are all essential oils. So they have their properties. For example, lavender lemongrass. Lemongrass is an uplifting thing. So I tell people if you're kind of sluggish in the morning, get the lavender lemongrass oil, get the lavender lemongrass deodorant. that lavender is going to, I mean, that lemongrass is going to perk you up. And that lavender is going to even you out, because they show that one of the fastest ways to absorb things are through your nose. It enters the blood-brain barrier the quickest.
Isn't you developed about close to 30 or more products, haven't you?
Yes. Right now I have four, or I guess four. I mean, I have mouth, I have deodorant, I have lip. I have four main products now. Oops, my light just fell. I have four main products now, but I've been in an organic formulator for over almost 8 years at this point, and I am just kind of waiting and building this up. But my next things will be healing balms, and then I'll be getting into my hyaluronic acid serums and my toners again, and so forth. I just have to really build this up and get our name. I wanted to do these because in terms of the toxins that people are putting on their bodies every day, I really wanted to have an impact in that space and get people looking at their
And
ingredients and
this is
thinking
how
about.
those lip balms look beautifully packaged. You design the package and everything yourself too, I think you said, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And if you look at that box, it talks about what is important to us. So the earth, love, um, what else do I, oh, I can't even remember. Knowledge, you know what I mean? Part of it is knowledge. Like, we need somebody who is going to talk to us about the ingredients in our products and explain what is their purpose. Because when we don't insist on, I'm not going to use that if you have these chemicals. You might say it's just a little bit, but let me tell you, just a little bit is why we have so many sick people right now. And then you can't see it, but botanicals, and those are the four things that I've built this whole line around, is that education piece.
Well,
Oh, thank you, Janice. You're using the products. Thank you, thank you,
yeah,
thank you.
yeah, yeah. And in
Oh,
fact, they say here as I sit chewing on my Excel. Uh,
xylitol, yes.
thank you, thank
So
you.
yes, see that your dentist may have told you, right? So the tooth powder, this actually tastes good. Because let me explain something to you. I started making oral care products about 8 years ago, and I was like, if I'm gonna make it, it's gonna taste good. I hate when people give me a product that does not taste good and want me to put it in my mouth. And so this stuff tastes amazing. It's mint flavored. It has the xylitol in it. Trust me, this is not your nasty tooth powder that these people sell you, and they want to tell you, well, if that's the price you pay for going natural. No, you don't have to sacrifice flavor. And this
Oh,
is actually probably one of the best, because that xylitol actually, as I said, creates that biofilm that makes it hard for the plaque to readhere to your teeth. You'll feel a slickness on your teeth. That's what's keeping that plaque from reforming.
now this question came up: which specific product works best for particular skin concerns such as anti-aging or treating acne?
Okay. So right now, the only thing that I would recommend for that would be the body oil. So I formulated this very specific. Wait, I've got to turn this around. I formulated this very specifically so that it would be um, non-comedogenic. I use very good oils that do not clog the skin. I love this for the face. If you're looking to calm acne, I would recommend the lavender lemongrass, because your lemongrass is going to be oh god, I'm kind of bad at turning these around, but your lemongrass is going to be a detoxifier for the skin, and that will take care of the bacteria that might be creating the acne. And the lavender is actually a calming. So when you're having that breakout, lavender will help to calm the skin. And what I love about this is I did formulate it so it works really well on the hair. It works for your face. You can work for the body. I love to even put it in my bath oil to make it really smooth and so forth. It's really lovely stuff. Um, and in time, once I build this line up, then I'm going to start getting into my face, and you better
You
watch
mean
out,
you haven't
sis.
even built the lineup yet? It looks like you are like going
You
gangbusters
know,
already.
I yeah, no. I mean, I have a lot of, see, that I'm always thinking what I'm going to be doing 5 years in the future and so forth. So right now I'm building this up, you know, to be honest with you, I'm completely self-funded. So my packaging is very expensive. It's important to me because I want it to be eco-friendly. I really wanted to move away from plastic. My last lines were all housed in plastic, and I was trying to get away from that. So I
And they
made
found
these
that we
switches.
ingest a lot of plastics.
Hmm. Oh my gosh. Did you know that we actually consume about a credit card size of microplastics?
Yes.
And that just really, like, again, I guess I'm a do-gooder, but like,
Well,
you
somebody
know,
has to, okay, with
I
this.
mean, somebody has to, right? But I that really bothered me. So I said, you know what? I am going to get away from as much plastic. Sometimes you have people and they'll have these tubes and inside they'll have the plastic liner. And I'm like, that is such a waste. Yeah, you did it to look cool, but when you put that plastic liner in there, and yes, it's convenient because it twists up very easily, but it's not what you want because it's introducing the plastic. So this, do you guys remember like those old time um Big E astrology is on. Thank you, love. And do you remember those old time push-up pops with the ice
Yes,
cream and you
yeah,
push it up? That's exactly how these work. And I tell people, that initial thing, you have to push a little hard for that first time. After that, you're fine. And if you need to, you can just push it right back down into the tube if you push it out too far or whatever. But for the environment, going compostable, going recyclable, these types of things, no plastic, that's the way you want to do it.
yeah, and like you said, they just
You
go
got to
up
push it. I was like, you know what? And
and
sometimes what I'll do is, what, you got this glass here. Take your deodorant, put it, so I've made it so that this can actually go like that and help you push it. Be your, like you take the your deodorant and put it on top of your oil, it'll push it out for you. It just makes it a little easier.
interesting,
I've
interesting.
had some of my clients tell me that I should have a crystal stick made, and I said, well, you know what? I will totally do that in time because that's up my alley too. I love the power of crystals and energy and frequency. It's when you use products like mine, you are actually putting high vibrational, high frequency ingredients on your body. So you are uplifting your body. When you use these drugstore things, you're putting chemicals that never had life, that are actually zero life, dead ingredients on your body. And I know your audience knows this because they wouldn't be following you if they didn't know. Everything is frequency and vibration.
Mm-hmm,
And so,
mm-hmm.
what do you want to do? You want to put life, or do you want to put death? I mean, literally, like a synthetic is dead.
And you know what's interesting? Even after you finish the product,
Hmm.
these are compost is FCS something. Can you
FSC
explain? Yeah, can you explain?
um, certified, yes. So they are compostable. So the Forest Steward Commission. Oh my gosh, FSC, Forest Steward Commission. And what they do is they go in and they make sure that things are right, but when they are tearing down trees to make paper or different things, like these are actually, all of my tubes are actually made from post consumer, so there are no trees being torn down to make these tubes. This is all recycled paper that my stuff is made from. But the FSC will look and make sure, like when they're making your furniture or whatever, that they are going into areas of the forest that have not been completely decimated, and they're giving the forest time to regrow.
I think this is amazing. That you would do something like this to really benefit humanity in that way that really makes a lot of sense. And looking at some of the comments is it's amazing. So if anybody has questions in the remaining time, please let us know. But in the meantime, though, I do want to put up your banner again. So for people who want to, it is Alana Taylor. She is a brand developer. She calls it Sabali Pure. I call it the Sabali Pure Collections, okay? Because it is a collection of many things she has, 30 odd products. Her IG, which is where all these images you see, I got it on her IG, which is um, Sabali Pure. Her YouTube is at Sabali Pure. Her contact number is six. Because there might be other women that have these ideas in the back of their mind developing certain products because there are other women that want to get away from all the chemicals. And how many chemicals you said a woman puts on in the morning on average?
238 chemicals on average. And, I just think that's ridiculous. But we don't know any better until somebody tells us. But also, it's hard to stop using it because that's what's so available.
And we become
And,
accustomed to it.
and it, it's difficult. I have to be honest with you. My ingredients, they cost a lot. I mean, it's hard for me. I cannot achieve the margins that Native can achieve because they use a lot of fillers. Their main filler, if you go and you pick up a Native deodorant, the main filler is palm oil derived. And palm oil, just to put it in perspective, palm coconut oil is 6 times more expensive than palm oil. And
Mhm.
that's why they use them. And they do things, they put these chemicals that are all about maintaining shelf life for years on end and all of these different things. And they really put their bottom line before our health. And
Yeah.
I just think I think it's unconscionable, quite frankly. And I think this is where we have to start to say, hey, we need to push back. Like, so my deodorants will last you about 3 months.
Mhm.
Um, and they really work. And so these are $17. Native, last time I checked, was about $14.50, $15.
Mhm.
Now, the difference is this is all organic. Native's using chemicals. they I use organic. So that means your body is not being exposed to pesticides. And that's something else to think about when you're using a plant-based product. If it's not organic, you are being exposed to the pesticides that were used to cultivate that product. So by using the organic, you are not absorbing pesticides. Native uses artificial fragrances. They use artificial fragrance boosters. They use preservatives. I do not use preservatives in my products. That's what I started learning as I looked at this. I mean, when we were all learning about how aluminum was connected to breast cancer, I started doing more research and realizing, like, okay, it's great to take the aluminum out, but that is just one of the things. The autoimmune industry in the United States, last time I checked, is a $19 billion industry. That's
Really?
$19 billion that the Americans are spending to deal with autoimmune responses. Those are all due to the toxins that are in these things that we are eating, putting on our skin, breathing. So this is about what we're putting on our skin and choosing better. But like, to me, $2 more than the native, and you're getting an organic product. Now what you're seeing is that young girls are starting to smell. Like, when I was coming up, you didn't really get body odor until after you hit puberty.
Yeah.
Puberty is coming on much earlier, and even before they actually hit it, their bodies are starting to smell because of these chemicals. So I tell moms, is you want to put something like this on your young daughter, you do not want to put those chemicals and start that child off on chemicals, because it builds up over time.
Because they said that young girls now are having their monthly cycles as early as 9 years old. So it doesn't.
Absolutely. You know what? Now, different, but on that vein, the antibiotics and all of these different chemicals and things are what are doing it. So, for example, Chick-fil-A just in the last like 3-4 months announced that they were no longer going to be antibiotic free chicken. They are introducing antibiotics to their chickens. What does that mean for you? That means that when you consume that a lot, you are going to build up a resistance to antibiotics, which means that what would have worked for you if you were not consuming that, you're going to need even more antibiotics just to experience that healing that they are meant to give us. We were not made to be consuming antibiotics, but we are. If you consume
And
animals
you
that
said
have,
they announced that they're going to have them antibiotic free, or how did you put that? They're going to have antibiotic free?
well, because for the longest time, Chick-fil-A, which everybody knows about, their thing was, we use antibiotic-free chickens.
Got it.
Well, no more. About 3 to 5 months ago, whatever it was, they are now putting antibiotics in there like all the other people, which means that they are going right down the path of money. And that's what happens. Like, unfortunately, I'm not trying to badmouth anything, but capitalism does not breed, as my husband says, capitalism does not breed humanism. You
No,
know
it
what I mean?
doesn't.
We need to think about humanity and what we're doing. And we need to find a way to make these things more available. Like, yes, mine is a little bit more expensive, but if I can do it and still make a profit, imagine if I was to grow and then be able to make more. I could bring my margins down and keep my prices at even lower prices. You know what I mean? But if I can make a profit, why can't somebody like Procter and Gamble or Johnson and Johnson make products that are just as good? They don't want to do it because what you're using is so incredibly cheap. There's no way I could duplicate the crap that they put in there. And I've just been a formulator for so many years. I know how much these certain things cost. Not all of them. And I have no idea when you're buying in the millions, but like I bought the wrong type of product one time. It's still in plastic in my laboratory over here because I refuse to use it. But you know, I immediately was like, oh my God, this is what, oh, you know, we've got to take a stand.
Now,
So
this person says, does the deodorant, I don't think they're referring to yours, but does it,
oh,
is there
yes,
baking
I know
soda?
exactly. Okay. So cocoa tea, that's a great question. And no, I do not use deodorant. What I use is organic arrowroot because it's much more gentle on the skin. The
Oh, the
reason why
organic food. What was that word? Organic?
arrowroot,
Okay, got
arrowroot powder.
it.
So the
Okay.
reason why I don't use baking soda does combat odor. That's why a lot of people use it. The problem is that baking soda is about a 9 pH, whereas our bodies are about 4 to 5 pH. So when you're putting a 9 pH
Ah,
on a 4 to 5 body, you're
uh-huh.
going to have a reaction. That's why women were getting the bumps, the darkness, the red sores, you know, all of that buildup because their bodies were reacting to it as it should, you know. But yeah, so there are people who use it, but if they do, you really want somebody who's going to use a mixture and make sure that that baking soda is very low. Otherwise, you are more than likely going to break out.
You know, it's interesting. You have a special that you're offering our viewers, and somebody just sent this in. Is there a coupon code? I'm ready to order right now. I will order
Oh, thank you.
regardless. So I
Thank
think you
you.
said that. Now explain how it works, and all they got to do is type in the code Lloyd or something like that, and they'll get a
Mhm.
discount.
So if you go onto my site and you go to the Love is Sabale bundle, and you can either do like a little Google search or I mean, not a Google search, but when you get into my site, sabalepure.com, you can look for that bundle. I've specially marked it. It would be normally $54. I brought it down to 44 for Lloyd because I said I got to get my numbers in order. So four, and that's
It's an
8 for
eight. That's
abundance,
you. That's
right?
you. Yep, that's
Yes.
you.
And then if you decide that you want to add one of these oils to it and you put in the code Lloyd, you will get 30% off of the oil. So the oil is 35, but you'll get 30% off of that, which will drop it by more than $10. And I'm going to tell you what, my oil, if you are an Osea user, OCEA, my oil is like phenomenal. And unlike
What
a
does
lot
that
of
mean,
oils,
Oseo? You
Osea is a brand that you're going to spend about 50, $60 for the bottle. Mine is less, and you are going to get an oil that's made. The first ingredient is organic shea oil. Osea uses sunflower seed. I'm sorry, I do not use sunflower seed oil. I do not use apricot seed. There's nothing inherently wrong with those oils, but they are not as nutrient dense as the oils that I choose to use.
well, let me
You know,
say
I
this.
use
I have the best moderator on Mondays and Wednesdays. One of the things about Jazz Aphrodite is she
mhm.
makes sure that everybody's got your website to order. She's
Uh-huh.
also got the definitions, Sabari Cure, pure.com/collectible/all. And she is instructing you when you go get those skin oils, use the code Lloyd.
Thank you. And
Hey,
you have to buy it in conjunction with the Sabale Love is Sabale package to get that 30% off. The reason why these things I've got to package these cost me like $10 just to ship. So unfortunately, I've got to like, you know,
and
that's one of the
this
things to
person
being
says there's
small.
a code just for the bundle.
So so the bundle is 44. If you want to add the oil, you'll get the 30% off if you use the code Lloyd. And yeah, so the bundle you do not need a code for. I have gone in and made a hard marked down on that just for this.
And I gotta thank Teresa because Jazz is always on point with the announcements. I don't know how she does it, but hey, that's why
Thank you.
she's on every week.
I'm gonna thank Jazz, and I'm gonna thank everybody. My gosh, there's so many people here. If there
Yeah.
are any questions, I want to be able to answer. And if you don't get to talk to me now, you can hit me up on Instagram. You have my email and you have my phone number, so you can text me a question. You can hit me on the email. Any of those
Well, so I'd
places.
like to have you back. I'm going to have your husband back separately, but I want to have you
Mhm.
back as you begin to develop more of your product line
Oh, thank
so
you.
people can really take advantage because there are so much toxicity. I mean, it's so obvious in the water, the food, and it's all about the profit. I'm with your husband on this one, Eric. It's like, really? You would rather have people suffer and die just for your bottom line? Don't they?
Exactly.
Don't these people, go ahead.
Here, and this is what I'm going to say. For the people that own these products or own these companies, guess what they're using? They're using products like this. They aren't even using their own products because they know how bad it is. Now, they might for vanity purposes put it out on their counters and take some Instagram photos that show them with all it, but they're not using it because they know it's not good.
Because I heard that the people who make Lunchables for these tens of thousands of kids, they don't let their kids eat it.
They don't. I mean, and that's what's so hard is that they have made it very challenging for us. But again, I think we talk most strongly with our dollars and how we choose to spend it. But I mean, with that being said, this is $17. It'll last you 3 months. And oh, on top of it, you know what is really great? You can put this all over your body. So I put this sometimes under my breast area. If I get to any place that I sweat, I put this under. You put this on the soles of your feet, you will no longer have smelly feet. And on top of it, we absorb through our feet. So you're absorbing the essential oils and the healing things that are in this deodorant into your feet, which is absolutely phenomenal. So a lot of times I have people who they get a little grossed out. So what they'll do is they'll buy two deodorants, one they use strictly for their feet and one they use on their body because, so this stuff is amazing. The lip balms, I'm going to tell you, these are like super fat lip balms. Okay. These are not like your
Yeah,
standard
yeah.
chapstick.
Mhm.
They are equivalent to about 3 lip balms. And this is 888. I mean, like, come on. And it's all organic. It's none of the chemicals. So like I try to keep things at a very, very fair price. My tooth powder, this will
I
last
think
you
it's more than
over a
fair,
month.
to be honest, for what it does for the health. It's more
Mhm.
than fair.
It
Or
is. It
that's
is, and it's funny because selling at Marival, they sell this deodorant for 26. You know what I mean? So,
hmm And somebody said that's the bundle in my cart. Somebody
mhm.
says, please have her back. And then
Oh, thank
thanks,
you. Thank you.
thanks,
Thank you.
and thank you. It's a
And
nice testament to what you're doing to making sure that we can live more organically as possible, the way we do, other than all these added chemicals. And they're finding out that after sometimes decades, that these so-called chemicals or things we're using actually has more of a negative effect than
they build up in our systems. If you are not regularly detoxing your body, they have found chemicals that are 10 and 15 years, like antibiotics that you take, are still in your system 10 and 15 years later when you do a detox.
that
Or,
sounds incredible though.
it is. It's an amazing thing. These things don't pass out of our body because our bodies do not know how to process them. So what they do is they push them to the side. They encapsulate them. That is why we have the cancer, because so often it's because our body doesn't know what to do with this particular chemical. It's begun to morph and to attack a cell. So our body encapsulates it in a tumor to keep it pulled away from the rest of the body. But it is, most of our things are started by toxins. And if I can, I just want to say, to
Please do.
any
Please do.
small business woman, anybody who wants to get into this game, one of my other passions is I love helping people design their packaging, their logos, their different things. This is a passion for me. I've had multiple lines and all of them look amazing. So if you're somebody who wants to do something and you need some help, please reach out. I would be happy to help you design your line, design your logos, do your different things, because my one of my other passions is I want us as Black women, as Black men, and actually anybody, to be honest with you, but I want us to be able to show up top notch. Like when I created this, I wanted this to be able to sit on any high-end spa shelf. If it was to be picked up and sent to Neiman Marcus or Saks Fifth Avenue, my stuff can go there and people will respond to it. And that's why I want to help other people
And as
do
they
that.
say, represent.
Yes, represent, exactly, and we have the ability to do it. We just,
You
you know,
darn
we need to
tootin'.
be
Yeah,
shown.
yeah, that's all.
Mhm,
Well, I gotta
and
tell you this, one of the best things was your husband, whose birthday is tomorrow, Eric Taylor,
mhm,
the famous
yeah.
astrologer who was on my show, says, "Man, you gotta have my wife on." And you know what? He never lied. So please treat him
Oh,
something special tomorrow for his birthday and tell him we all said happy birthday to him too. You know?
absolutely, I will let him know. It has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you. I will come back on anytime. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, well, the information, and for me, I never thought about essential oils and fragrance oil. I'm thinking it's just
Mhm,
interchangeable until you explained it. It's a whole world of difference. And so for those that are right, essential rose oil, that what
mhm,
84,000 petals
exactly.
goes in to make. So that is an eye opener to me. So it makes you appreciate those things. And that's why I guess they're so essential. Well, whatever oil you're using, but it's
They
amazing.
are more expensive, but again, they introduce healing properties. So, like this particular um, scent palette is grounding and calming, and it is the sandalwood is um, has antibacterial properties which kill off the bacteria which create the odor. So everything in nature really does work hand in hand. These toxins that we use, they come in to do one thing, but then they also mess up five things in doing that one thing. So it's really not worth it. Our bodies were not made for them. And yeah, I'm super super passionate. If anybody has any questions about anything that I'm doing, please feel free to reach out. And yeah.
Yeah, because there might be similar women who are thinking about starting something like this, and actually you can kind of guide them along. Because I can imagine it wasn't easy, in how things started, taking care of your mother-in-law and all
Hmm.
those things, and seeing all of the things that are really not in their best interest. I remember I went to a hospital one time and they gave the patient there a packet of something to go with the food, and on the back it said it could cause cancer. And I'm saying, why would you give it to the patient
you
if it
know
cause
when
cancer? That makes no sense to me.
My
I mean,
husband, oh yeah, my
go
husband
ahead.
was in the hospital. I'm sorry, but my husband was in the hospital. He was in a coma for 40 days and they started him on the drip. And I want everybody to please listen to this, because if you have any loved ones who are on liquid drips for food nourishment, what they're giving your loved one will give them diabetes if they are on it long enough. I had a person that was over at my home visiting. He has diabetes because once you go diabetic, you do not go back. You are diabetic. And it's made up of all kinds of chemicals. So I brought in for my husband an organic whole food alternative. I paid for it. I brought it. The dietitian was shocked. She approved it, but she nearly got fired by the CEO of the division of the hospital because he was so mad because they get kickbacks for using these chemicals. And I've had other people in the hospital tell me, well, if you had come to me, I wouldn't have let you have it. They would rather my husband go diabetic because his numbers were going. They began giving him insulin shots in his belly. He had never had these issues ever before. And I said, wait a minute, no, you got to do something different for him. And I pushed for it. And thank God I was able to do it because I said, I had a person in my home just the other night. And he said to me, he goes, and Alana, that happened because he was in a coma for a while too. He goes, I went diabetic and I am forever diabetic now because they messed up my body. And it's not to put down doctors because there are good things, but we have to make sure that we are insisting on what we want.
Well, I'll say this, Elena, for what it's worth. The third major cause of death in this country is medical errors.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take my word for it. Google it yourself.
Absolutely. I know you're right.
The
They,
third largest. In fact, I read an article where a guy went into the hospital to have a spleen removed, and they removed his liver, and he
mm,
died on the operating table.
yeah. And, my husband told them when he went into the hospital that he could not get steroids because he had a autoimmune disease, and if you gave steroids it was going to wake up, it's valley fever, it's going to wake up the valley fever and it will attack him. They gave it to him and then
Anyway,
they hmm and that's why he got worse and worse and worse. And instead of offering him an opportunity to be in a self-induced coma, which would give his lungs time to heal, they waited till he got down to 1/10 of one lung and all his organs were failing. And then he actually flatlined and they were having to work on him. And that was the call that I received in the middle of the night telling me that death was imminent. So again, it's not that all doctors are bad, but I do think some of the policies and just ways that they're accustomed to doing are not actually good for us. And you have administrators that are all about money making decisions. And, yes, was the organic formula, the organic stuff that I gave my husband more expensive than the cheap stuff they were? Absolutely.
yeah, but you wouldn't have had a husband if you didn't.
It took 3 days for his numbers. They were giving him insulin because they were like, he's pre-diabetic, he's going to probably go diabetic. And that's when I said, oh my God, wait, I got to do something. And it took 3 days for his numbers to go right back down, and they were able to stop.
And you know what's interesting? The Hippocratic Oath is do no harm.
And they don't always realize, you know what I mean? Like this information is not out there. And I'm going to tell you something else. And I know I keep going on, but
It's
when I
okay.
started making the organic products 7.5, 8 years ago, I could do a Google search and I could find a lot of information about how these herbs worked and do a lot of information. Now, when you do a Google search, the very information that I know I was using back then because I trained myself. I took different classes, but I trained myself on how to make and what herbs to use and things like that. That same information is not coming up top of line in Google. And then I've been told, well, now you got to go to like the 10th page. Who goes to the 10th page of Google? Nobody does. They are holding this information back. So a lot of these doctors and a lot of these people, they genuinely don't know. Their hospital books, their training manuals, all of their stuff do not talk about this. So they're doing what they're trained to do. But we have to ask who's doing the training, and we need to demand a different
And that would
playbook.
explain why in the medical business it's the third leading cause of death in this country, besides heart attacks and cancer. So it ain't, listen, it ain't Lloyd just saying. I mean, you look it up yourself if they didn't remove that fact out of there already too. Alana, thank you so much. I enjoyed this. Got to have you back and
Oh,
see
thank
what else
you.
you create. So any questions you have, please at the bottom of this, at the bottom you see the ticker where you can get in touch with her. She is the brand developer of the Sabali Pure. She calls it Sabali Pure. I call it Sabali Pure Collection.
I might have to change it, Lloyd.
You should, because it sounds special because you got a variety. Excuse me. If you got over 30 products, I'd say that's a collection. What do you say?
Yeah. Yep, I've got quite a few. Yeah. So thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. I'm just so thankful. And yeah, again, any questions, I could talk about this forever.
Good, good. And your phone number is there at the bottom of the screen. And for everybody, please get in touch with her. Don't wear out her phone. She does have family. Her husband's
I'll
birthday.
turn it off at night. I'll get back to you. Text is going to be the best thing in all honesty. But yeah, so text me and I will respond.
Okay. And tell your husband, Eric Taylor, I said happy birthday tomorrow. Okay.
Oh, I will.
And that
Thank
was
you
the best
so much.
recommendation. He says, man, you got to have my wife on. I says, no, I don't have to have her on, but I'm glad this was great. This was great. This was great. Thank you so much, Alana. You take care. Take care of your boys, your family. and everything. And I thank you very much.
Yes. God bless. Thank you,
Bless you
everybody.
too. So that was fun for me. Okay. Um, and I also want to thank my moderator each Monday, Jazz Aphrodite. She does amazing work, and I always try to give her props. I know you all hear the name, but believe me, if you understood the sister what she can do, you would give her props too. And the same goes for Empress Rel on Wednesday. My sisters don't play. I'm very, very blessed. So everybody, I want to thank you very, very much. But let me give credit to the sponsors working backwards, which is King Simon has a 2-day event coming up on the 12th and the 13th of October, honoring a tribute to Baba Dick Gregory. Also, Manifest on Purpose podcast. If you want to go, just go to Kimberly, KIMBALEY.com to figure. And she also is include now weekly wisdoms every Sunday. So she's added another component to her format. Also, Nicholas Brooklyn. This is one of my favorite places to go for incense, oils, things of that nature. They are no joke books. And it's at 1396 Fulton Street. Also, Brother Visit Islam and his wonderful product at intellectualpowers.net. And when you order, the coupon code is numbers, okay, for obvious reasons, numbers, all right? Also, please pick up a free copy of my newsletter. It is absolutely free. All you got to do is go to lloyd-strayhorn.com or link us log on to LinkedIn/numbers and you. And also, for those of you who don't want to read the September forecast, you can hear it on YouTube and just go right there to September 2024 Astro Numerology Horoscopes. And you'll see that Miss Kimberly and I will do the signs and whatnot. And there is also a timestamp. So if you go right to whatever your particular sign is, whether you're looking at your sun sign or your ascendant or your moon, and if maybe you're looking at all three, so if you merge them all, you can see it together. And this is her thing that she's now started on Weekly Wisdom. So anyway, I do want to thank everybody very, very much. Hold on, let me get this off. How did I do this? Okay. Yeah. Everybody, thank you very much. I'll see you Wednesday. I'm not going to have a guest on, but what I am going to do, I think, is talk about the upcoming election. No, it's not about who's going to win as so much as the conditions of both of these candidates on election day. And then I'll get more specific in my month of November or whatever the case is like that. Everybody, I want to thank you very, very much. My wonderful guest and all of these wonderful, wonderful products that she has. And Sabali means peace, patience. Yeah, normally when you heal, it does take some patience, but it is well worth it. And these are many of her products that you see here on the screen. And so please make sure that you take advantage of her special offer and pick up these products. And especially since they're all organic and free of any chemicals and things of that nature. She's got a boatload of stuff that really, really, really says a lot about what she's done. And she's done this out of her own. So it just shows you the power of love and the power of what you believe in doing. And so, everybody, I thank you very much. All of you, have a nice day. See you on Wednesday. And to my moderator, Jazz, thank you so, so much. Much appreciated. Bye.